Okay, this should be a really fun video to do today. I've just got my Viking costume ready because I'm going into another school next week, and I'm going to show you how we make these costumes on a really small budget so you can do it yourself as a teacher. But also we're going to talk about the importance of using costumes and props to enhance your teaching. This should be really fun. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. So most of these things, the trousers, the shoes, these bits and bobs, these are all found in charity shops. And I didn't have to go to lots and lots of different charity shops. I found all of these things in about 2 or 3 different charity shops. This thing's interesting in particular because it's supposed to be one of those head warmer thingies, but this thing looks like some kind of dead animal, and I remember I found this and I decided that I would tie it around my waist and it would become some kind of animal that I'd killed in battle, just to add a bit of detail to this character. So that was quite a good find. And then there's just little accessories like belts and things that you can tie around yourself really easily, and if they're just kind of normal, natural, neutral colours, then they add quite a lot, but they can come from any kind of time period. So these things are perfect. And then I also made this little money pouch thing, which is just a piece of leather that we cut into a shape, and then I tied some string around it to make it look like some kind of old kind of purse or wallet. I'm not actually, can't actually remember what I put in here. They look like euros. Now this thing was slightly trickier to make. It's an old jumper. You can actually see the original colour of it inside, but then I spray painted it silver grey to look like some kind of armour, some armour that maybe a Viking would wear. So that goes on underneath, but that's a really good part of the costume that adds that extra detail to it. And then the rest of these things, so the wig and the beard, they are just things that I found on eBay. They were quite cheap. I found a really good deal on them. And as well, these things are perfect because you can repurpose them for different characters as well. You can use them for different kind of days where you need a character that has long hair. So you can get your money's worth out of these. Now, once you've put all these things together, they can be really effective. And this is the end product. So this is the final product of what a Viking day can be like. This is the character that's going to burst into your classroom and create such an impact. It's a really, really easy costume to put together, as I showed you. And the final piece of it is just this piece of material here. Now, when I originally did this a year ago on a much smaller budget, I just used some, I think they were actually curtains that I found in a charity shop that I wrapped around myself. They were brown and orange and had a bit of fur on it, and it looked like some kind of animal, some kind of realistic piece of clothing from that era. But now I've got this is like in fact, I think I bought this from IKEA. It's supposed to be a rug, and it makes it that much more believable because we have that bigger budget. Maybe you want to work with people from your department to put a budget together to start sourcing materials that can be used for a few different history projects. I mean, this right here could be used for so many different topics. So why don't you get creative with the materials that you buy and make the most out of the budget that you can spend creating these costumes. Now, you may be wondering why bother going to all that extra effort. You may have been teaching this subject for years, never had a problem with it, and this just seems like a lot of effort. And to be honest, there is that extra bit of effort. I know that they're being given a lot of responsibilities, a lot of roles, and an extra job like that just seems like a big deal. But I can promise you that putting in that extra effort, just that one time, because once you've done it, the more times that I do these live encounters, the easier they become, the more readily I can remember the information and keep that information stored in my head as that character. But as I say, the more effort you put into this, the more you're going to gain out of it for the rest of the term, for when these exams come up, for when the kids need to think about what they want to do in their future. If you've inspired them and you've created this fantastic moment where every child gets a live encounter with this historical character, they're going to have such a great time in your classroom. There's going to be such a buzz around learning when you refer back to that character and use them to inspire your lessons. That's the whole reason why Blue Kazoo creates these videos. It's to keep that learning going after we've left the classroom, but it's also a chance for you to just inspire your class and those people around you as well. Imagine how great it would be if every member of your school, every single member of staff had one of these days. Imagine if you could come into the staff room at lunchtime and see loads of different characters sat around eating their lunch with you. Every member of staff in a silly wig or a different costume, just to enhance that learning. It's going to create such a buzz and such an atmosphere around your school and will improve learning. I promise you, that extra effort is so worth it. And the key to doing that is to just be prepared. Your class can ask you any question when you're in this character, and you need to be ready with a response. Try not to break character and develop your ideas. There was one time when we first did the Viking Day, I think it was a year 5 child asked us about Viking dancing. Now, that's something that I hadn't done any research on, but from that point, I went and found a dancing teacher called Simone who helped me out in such a great way. She came into this school a couple of weeks afterwards and taught them how to do some Viking dancing. And ever since then, we've added Viking dancing onto our Live Encounters Day. That's another skill that we've learned, another piece of information that we can pass on to your class, and another very immersive and fun way of engaging in this topic. So I promise you, the more you do this, the better you'll get at it, the more fun you'll have, and it's going to be such a great laugh. Your class will love it and learn such a great deal. Do it, try it, let us know how it goes.